Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.
Welcome to the Backpack Pushers Podcast, a family-friendly show that's tips and tales with a sense of humor. With me today is the man who lets you hold the door for him without saying thank you, Jesse Manti. How's it going today, my friend?
That is the Canadian way, my friend. We are not
kind
right? or polite. That's rule number 1 in Canada. Just kidding. I'm doing well, Carl. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to have you back on the show. So I kind of teased that we might have this guy on our show, and we got him, Jon Collins-Black. He is a wealthy man who hid 5 chests of treasure somewhere. And there's a treasure hunt going on. That's
pretty amazing. Having a real life treasure hunt, not hunter, treasure lever? Pirate. Is he basically a pirate? Is he basically a pirate? That's what I want to know.
Is he? Yeah, he kind of is. Yeah, I mean, like typically the pirates, they were trying to hide it so they could go back and find it when things settle down, right? That was their strategy.
Well, what's the opposite of a treasure hunter then? If we are treasure hunters looking for the treasure.
I'm not the hunter. I'm sharing the story. I want to make that very clear. I'm not looking for the treasure.
I am secretly hoping that we are starting a backpacking and blisters movement where someone in the backpacking and blisters audience is going to find this treasure, donate it to you, and somehow I'll get
the whole thing.
That's my hope in all of this.
Can I get 1%? If this show provided any clue or inspiration, can I or can we get 1%? That's all we're asking.
At least 1%.
Okay.
Key on the at least.
At least. There you go. So we got to go through the rundown here. He hid. Okay, this is like inspired by Forrest Fenn, who put out a poem years ago, and the poem was to lead to some sort of hidden treasure somewhere that was worth a couple $1 million.
And then it was just really anticlimactic when it was found.
Correct. Yeah. So somebody found it. They wanted to keep to themselves. We don't know how the poem was deciphered. It was just very dull. And I actually figured out who found the treasure, and then I reached out to that guy.
Wow.
Said, hey, can you come on our podcast? And he did not get back to me. That's the inspiration, right?
I know, there's so much interest behind the Forrest Fenn, lore. It had created its whole thing, and then it was just like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. And they even had I don't know what you call it, on the TV show Longmire, they even built in that story they didn't say Forrest Fenn, but basically that was an inspiration for a major storyline on a TV show. So it was pretty big. So I think this is going to be better because I think there's 5 treasure chests, so the thought is at least one person will tell their story about how they deciphered clues and things. But the treasure is, the chests are filled with all sorts of different things, from gold to Pokemon cards.
The treasures of the modern era, Pokemon.
Correct. It's like a combination of puzzle solving and creative thinking, and apparently none of them are actually buried. And is that a good rundown?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Rich guy hides a bunch of random items that are valuable in the woods, asks people to risk their lives and in search of buried or not buried Pokemon cards.
Hidden. Yeah, just hidden. Yeah. And it's and they've been out there for a year. So it's the 1 year anniversary, a little past that. And at this point, or at least at the point that we're recording this, none have been found.
Still out there, folks.
So we're going to interview. So Jon Collins-Black is the guy that hid them. And so we'll see what we can pull from him. And then, so we got that coming up. And then we've got an announcement for our upcoming season because, we're wrapping up season 8. So we got an announcement for that.
Sounds good.
Okay. So Bible verse of the episode. Matthew 13:44. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and covered up. Then in his joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Jesse, are you the type of person that could find a treasure hidden in a field?
No, probably not. Fields are big.
Right.
Yeah, but he knew. He found the treasure, and then he bought the whole field. So it's true. Right. Was he just digging around? I never thought about this. Was he just some guy in a field just digging around for days on end and happened to find it? Or was it just like he
Yeah.
stumped his toe one day and it was the corner of a box and dug it up and was like, hey!
Probably that, right? I just feel like when I'm semi-observant, especially when I'm going through the wild or on trails, but yeah, I don't think I'm the guy that finds stuff.
No. I mean, as a kid, I always dreamed of it. Me and my friends pretended to be treasure hunters, but...
Really? Did you like make maps and stuff?
Yeah, maps and little things around the neighborhood and just like clues that we pretended were real clues, but we were just playing.
Okay, well, this could be it, man. This could be it. So, all right, we're going to get to it. This interview is brought to you by Enlightened Equipment, maker of the Torrid Jacket and Ultralight Mid-Layer for cold nights and mornings. Check them out at enlightenedequipment.com. Without further ado, Jon Collins-Black. With me today is a treasure hunter, a treasure creator, Mr. Jon Collins-Black. How's it going today, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. All right, so you've created a scenario for a lot of folks, adventure for a lot of folks out there, and maybe I haven't done my research all that well, but I was watching one of the interviews with you, and you said that you hiked like up to 100 miles by placing all these treasure boxes. So, implying that there's some kind of like wilderness element involved. So, what is one outdoor skill a person would need to find one of the treasures?
So let me just clarify that statement. I think I did say something to that effect, but I hid 5 treasure boxes in 5 different locations across the country.
Right.
And I had to do a lot of reconnaissance and scouting. I wasn't exactly sure the exact locations pinpointed until I was actually in an area. And so sometimes I would search several different options in an area. And then, so in total, I probably hiked over 100 miles, but that does not mean anyone needs to prepare to hike 100 miles to find
Fair, yeah.
one of the treasure boxes. But your question was, what is one outside skill they need to have? That's an interesting.
Besides walking, besides the obvious one.
Outside skill. Give me a couple of examples of what.
Like it could be navigation. Yeah. It could be being able to scramble up on rocks. It could be topography awareness, or that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to hide all the treasures in safe locations. Okay, that was an important thing, right? So keep that in mind.
Okay.
I would say that, like, I don't know if this you consider this an outside skill, but you mentioned topography, because when you're looking at a particular search area online or with Google Maps or with Gaia or something like that, and you're like, oh, I think something might be here. It's quite a different experience than when you get boots on the ground and you're actually there. And all of a sudden, everything is 100 times bigger than you thought it was when you're looking at your computer screen, right?
Right.
So I think that's definitely something to keep in mind. I think, you don't necessarily have to grid search to find the treasures I've hidden, but I think if you can have some skill of organization when you're actually on the ground, right? Okay. Because a lot of times the best way to make a search plan, is actually when you're there. And if you have the organizational abilities to do that, I think that could come in handy.
Okay, that's a good one. All right. So not sure if there's any clues in there, but figured to ask in a weird way, and maybe something would get revealed.
Yeah, well, it's appropriate for your channel, though. I mean,
for sure.
Outside backpacking already, so they should have this. This should be on lockdown for them. It should be easy.
Yeah, I mean, we did an episode years ago on the Forest Fen treasure, and we tried to figure out some clues, and we had some theories, and in the end I was way off. But the discovery of that one was so anticlimactic. Do you expect to get better discovery stories from your treasure boxes?
You mean it was anticlimactic because he never said where it was?
Didn't explain, didn't decipher the poem. I tried to interview him on our podcast, wouldn't even respond to emails, and it wasn't just mine, it was everywhere. So you couldn't get any sort of stories or just the build up. You have this big story, you have everybody who's kind of,
it was some sort of resolution, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hope to give that. I mean, I certainly plan on giving the solves to each treasure box after they found.
Okay.
I want people to have some sort of closure. I'm sure there'll be lots of controversy. People will have all kinds of critiques about this, that, and the other. But I do want people to know what I intended.
Okay. All right. That's good. So even if the people don't want to reveal themselves or whatever, that's fine.
Sure. That's fine.
All right. So what type of person do you hope finds the treasure? I got 3 options for you.
Okay.
Would you rather have a multi-generational treasure hunter who is trying to bring back honor to the family name?
Oh, wow.
B, a kid who's trying to save his housing development from being turned into a golf course. Or C, a pair of brothers who spend tens of millions of dollars to find a treasure worth millions of dollars.
Well, probably not. I mean, I don't know, like number 2? I mean, I didn't do this for charity. I
Yeah.
mean, but that would be a cool story, I suppose.
That's the Goonies story. That's what I'm getting at right there. So you're rooting for
You had
Mikey.
something about being more of a Goonies guy, right? So
That's right. Yeah.
was that the right answer? Did I get the right answer?
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, so the first one was Benjamin Gates from National Treasure. That was his motivation. And then the third one was like the 2 guys on Oak Island that have like spent so much money
Yeah.
on all that equipment in years for, I don't know how much treasure would be worth, but it's just a funny story. So, okay,
Yes.
so in the like vein of Goonies, you mentioned safety, so I already know the answer, but did you consider at any point adding any pitfalls or booby traps to the treasure locations?
No, I mean, that would be cool, right? But we live in, a 3-dimensional world where accidents can happen too easily. So I tried to avoid all that.
Okay. Like it could be even something where it's like you just got sprayed with slime or something, right? Like it doesn't have to be dangerous.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but all of my treasure boxes are actual puzzle boxes. So when you find one, you're going to have to figure out how to get in. Now I've left instructions so you don't damage them, but the reaction people had when I told them about this initially, like friends and family was just that. They were like, how can you torture people and make them go on these adventures, find your box and then not be able to get into it?
No, that's fun. I love the creativity. Like the only concern I would have is because I've done some stuff where like I've done significantly lesser extent, some kind of like treasure hunts and things like that, where there's like a puzzle at the end. And so some of the people will think outside the box are like, like I could do this puzzle to get inside, or I could just smash it. You mentioned that the boxes themselves were very amazing and intricately designed.
They're valuable themselves. Yes, they are.
Okay, so they don't want to smash it. That's the
No,
incentive.
and that's why I left instructions on how to get inside. If you don't want to figure it out yourself, don't smash the box, please.
Don't smash it. Okay. All right. And then the treasure itself, this is highly interesting, has a number of valuable items from Pokemon cards to Bitcoin.
Sure.
So is there anything that was like, as you're brainstorming your ideas about what to put in the box, is there anything you're like, okay, this isn't going to make the cut?
Is it going to make, I mean, I looked at lots of different options. I looked at thousands of things. So there's lots of things that didn't make the cut.
Okay. Like what kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I have to go back and look. I mean, it's so much different things, but I will say a couple of things.
Okay.
I did have a choice to make the treasure even more valuable, but I felt like I didn't want to make it too valuable because I didn't want people to get too crazy about it. I wanted to find items that would increase in value over time. And actually, we're up right at the 1-year anniversary. And I believe I went back a couple of weeks ago, and like just the base value of the treasure items has gone up over $1 million just in the first year.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is something that will continue to increase in value.
Okay.
There is one item I tried to get, I failed at getting.
Okay.
On an auction, I tried to get one of Albert Einstein's pipes.
Oh, wow.
I thought that would be really cool because every picture you've ever seen of Einstein, right? He has a pipe. And there were several that went on auction, but they were like 9 pipes, and you had to get 9 pipes to get one. And I was outbid for the 9 pipes. And I actually tried to get the person who had the 9 pipes just to sell me one of them.
Yeah, just give me one of them.
But they refused.
So you got outbid on the pipes.
On the Einstein, but I got pretty much everything else I wanted, but the Einstein pipe did not make it to the treasure.
Yeah, yeah. The eclectic. I mean, you had like George Washington stuff. It was like there's like a Michael. Was it a Michael Jordan rookie card in there too?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's highly interesting things. I like there's Pokemon cards in there. I just thought that was hilarious, by the way. Okay, so you mentioned you don't want people to get too crazy. I actually had this question when the Forrest Fenn treasure was around because that got a lot of hubbub. I mean, people like died over that treasure. People, were literally died. Like trying to cross raging rivers and things that they shouldn't be doing. Yep. And they're like, clearly, like a 70-year-old would have done this to hide the treasure. And just like a lot of irrational thinking going on. But one of the concerns that I had was, wouldn't somebody be tempted to kidnap you with like the pantyhose faces and ask you like to take you to the treasure? Like, are you concerned about that at all?
Well, I guess it's not outside the realm of possibility, is it?
Right.
I think that like I went into this whole endeavor with my eyes wide open, realizing that I was creating an adventure and other people were going to write the rest of the story.
Okay.
And so it was a certain amount of like, trusting humanity. And some people might say, well, that's naive, but like, that's just the way I live my life. And I realized there's a certain amount of risk in anything that we do. One of the reasons I didn't tell my wife, who loves puzzles and would love help me put this together, the reason I didn't tell her or anyone else I knew about any of the locations of any of the treasures was because I didn't want them to bear the responsibility. If someone, unfortunately gets too excited or a little bit too aggressive, I didn't want them bothering other people. I wanted to bear the responsibility of that. But I feel pretty safe. I feel like there's a positive meme, there's a positive vibe behind this whole experience, and maybe that will keep me from any pantyhosed
faces.
No.
Fair enough. Okay, so you sound pretty confident. It sounds like you haven't gotten any direct or indirect threats at this point.
No.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with our show, but when we have guests on, we put them through a 1-minute lightning round where you've got 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can. Are you up for this?
So you want short answers, I guess, huh?
It's part of the strategy, right?
What's in it for me? Like, do you have a leaderboard of how many people?
I do. Yeah, the most you've gotten is 10 answers in a minute, and
so my goal as your guest is to answer as many as I can. That's what you wanted me to do.
Yeah, correct. I mean, not just like throwing out nonsense, right? So if I say like, "What's your favorite food?" and you're like, chair, that's not going to count. Okay, so this is, so I know you've done a lot of podcasts, but I don't think you've answered some of these questions yet.
No, I haven't done a lightning round, so let's see.
So the timer starts after I ask my first question or give you my kind of first scenario here.
Great.
What is the best treasure hunting movie?
Goonies.
What brand of shoes did you use to store the treasure?
I don't remember. Asics.
All right, what's the most frivolous thing that you've ever purchased?
Candy.
Something that annoys you.
Slurping.
Oh, most plausible conspiracy theory.
Plausible moon landing.
Something you'd like to uninvent.
Oh, those Christmas sweaters.
Least favorite chore.
Dragging wood.
Biggest outdoor fear.
Heights.
And time. All right, that was pretty good. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 8, so that's right on the average right there.
I figured I was probably average.
Yeah,
right?
I think I threw you off with conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And something you'd like to uninvent. So you think that the faked moon landing is the most plausible conspiracy theory?
No, it's the only one I could think of. Like, the only one I could think of was that and flat Earth, and I was like, well, it's more plausible than that.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, and then let's see, what else did you have? You had least favorite chore was dragging wood. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I had to do a lot of that when I was a kid.
Okay, just like
My dad, we lived at 20 acres, and my dad, like, we had these storms that come through and blow the trees down, and he would go chop it all up with his chainsaw, which he loved to chop things with his chainsaw, and then I'd have to drag the wood out of it.
And like to burn, or where did you store it?
Yeah. Basically, well, either to clear the brush to move away, or to bring it in to chop it. Yeah.
That's one of the most interesting answers we've gotten for that one, for sure. So
yeah, have you asked that question a lot? Is that one of your go-to questions?
I recycle. It's not one of my go-to ones, but I'll recycle some questions. Like the conspiracy theory is always a fun one because you never know what people are going to say. And I like your candy answer for frivolous thing you purchased. It's a really good answer right there. Thanks for going through the lightning round. All right, so can you tell us about your book? There's treasure inside. Where can we get it? Why should we get it?
Well, if you go to the website, which is treasureinside.com, you can just buy it, purchase it there. You can go to Amazon. There's links on my website to purchase it direct. Go to Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Nobles. There's lots of independent bookstores that carry it. And if you want to know more about the treasure, pretty much the facts, the FAQs are on that page. There's a lot of, there's a media link to lots of interviews that I did when we launched the book a year ago. Yeah, that's basically your best resource to get started.
Would you say there's clues in some of those interviews that you've kind of unintentionally or intentionally dropped?
I have tried not to put clues in the interviews.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe you get to know me better. So
Maybe go check them all out. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and for creating a fun adventure for folks out there. So I'll have a link to the book in our show description if you want to check it out. And thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
All right, everyone, let's talk about drinking and driving, a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI because legal fees, time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans, a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
All right, my friend. Reaction. What you got?
He said it's not 100 miles. He's not 100. Is that a little disappointing? It's not 100 miles. Like, in my head, I was kind of like building this up like, a backpacking expedition.
Right.
He didn't even say it's not 100 miles even like cumulatively. Because even that would have been like, okay, at least you got to go like 20 miles. But it's like, it was cumulative of his entire journey trying to find, I don't know, maybe a little disappointing.
It's unclear. So there's like a lot of unclear things and I feel like this is not the first time this has happened where I listen in or I do my research and then I hear the guest say something and then I ask them about it. And they're like, no, that's not true. And I'm like, what? I literally heard you say that. You said 100 miles. But the way that he was talking was like the accumulation of miles for hiding all the treasures. He hiked around for 100 miles. But that doesn't mean, but he might have hiked 5 miles and was like, yeah, this isn't a good spot, right?
Yep, exactly. He said even in scouting, he went to places just to look and was like, yeah, this is a good spot and walked back. And like I said, all of that. I mean, it could be hidden on the side of the road for all we know. He walked 100 miles at some point. It could be 1 mile.
And to me, that would be funny is if he hid something literally in plain sight in a really obvious place that people just walk by every day and just don't think twice about like opening a lid or something, and it's just right there.
My other reaction is he said they're all in safe locations. Is that also kind of disappointing?
What's an unsafe location?
Well, I don't know. Side of a cliff that you got to rappel off of. Surrounded by bears in the middle of Canada. I don't know, something. Fire-breathing dragons. This is kind of what I was hoping for.
I don't know that he revealed anything or gave us any additional clues. He had some interesting answers, especially with the lightning round, for sure.
Well, what was great lightning round. What was your reaction? What stood out to you?
He seemed a little bit nonchalant about the whole getting kidnapped thing. I know Forrest, and I don't know what kind of security he has because I don't live in that world of like being able to have bodyguards and security. I don't know if he even has that, but I know that Forrest Fenn definitely got threats, and at least it felt like his life was at risk at some points, but nothing actually happened. With this, I feel like, I don't know if the underworld is even aware of these treasures, but for sake of argument, let's say somebody becomes aware. Like, how hard would it be just to be like, dude, we're going to kidnap you and you will lead us to the treasure or bad things are going to happen?
That's secretly your plan, Carl. That's what's really going on in the back of your head is how can pantyhose? You brought up pantyhose. It's like, as you
pantyhose faces. Like, like when they put them over the face so you can't tell.
Has anyone ever put pantyhoses over you? Here, I have a bucket of them right beside me. That's what I was thinking.
Well, then maybe you're at risk for being this guy, but that's...
I mean, I do. It was interesting. He was super chill about that. And I liked that he took a positive spin, that he feels like this is building a positive community, that he's hearing good things. And I think just even with Forrest Fenn's thing, it's as the lore builds. Right now, people are just hoping and exciting to get it. 10 years, 15 years down the line, when people start getting really into it, or maybe when a few have been found and people find out how valuable those ones were, and now there's 2 left. But like you said, I mean, it's cool to hear that he did take some steps. Like, he purposely avoided his family, purposely avoided his wife from knowing anything, so that it's just all on him. He's the one getting, questions, emails, threats against his life, pantyhose.
Yeah, imagine the emails like the trolls he's getting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Trolls.
But like, you said it was here. I know I'm looking in the right place, and you wasted my life. Like that kind of stuff.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and then somebody's going to find it, and they're going to be like, this was lame.
Yeah.
These Pokemon cards.
Yeah. I don't have eBay skills. I don't know how to sell these things.
Bitcoin was valuable. Now it's gone down to 0.
I know. Somebody flooded the market. Apparently, it's increasing in value. So if you're looking for an adventure, we put out an episode, what was it, a few weeks ago, about deranged outdoor adventures, like searching for something. And if you need purpose to your backpacking trips or your adventures, then maybe this gave you some fun purpose, so long as you don't get obsessed with it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there you go. That's the story. We just thought it was a fun story. At least I did. If you want to find out more information, he's been on a lot of podcasts, and you can buy his book, and we get that in our show description.
I thought there was one other thing that I thought was funny that I wanted to say. Well, 2 things, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said one tip he did give was organizational abilities would come in handy to find it. Carl, you're quite the organizer, from trips to the podcast, the Patreon. Do you think you have the organizational skills? And he even said, what did he say? Grid searching.
Yeah.
Would you be able to establish an organization to discover this treasure?
You're giving me a lot of credit, man. That's like attention to detail is not a strength of mine. I'm constantly working on that, but I'm always messing up stuff. So I feel like I'd be more like the guy to follow along. Like, you've got this grid, so incrementally search.
I think you'd be grading everyone else who's searching for this and be that guy didn't do good enough.
Eyes on the ground, buddy. Like, you look down, like the treasure's not in the sky.
The other thing I thought was funny was you could tell the wealth of this man, because he's like, listen, I don't want people to get too crazy about it. It's not that valuable. It's only gone up $1 million in the past year. It's just like, what? It's not that true. It's just $1 million in the past year. Don't go crazy.
Don't go crazy. For me, life-changing wealth is like...
He wasn't clear if that was one box or if that was everything cumulative. Yeah. But still, that's $1 million.
No, it's like, it was like 2 million cumulative, but that was when it first started, and then it's gone up since then. So it's life-changing wealth for a lot of folks.
Yeah, for sure. Don't go crazy, people. Don't go crazy. It's just life-changing.
Yeah. And maybe not for backpackers, because, to backpack these days, you got to be stinking wealthy with all the gear prices. Anyway, hopefully it's a fun story for you. We got an interesting announcement about the upcoming season here in our tidbit section. Tidbits are brought to you by Magnet Designs, home of the awesome Bend Alpha 90 hoodie, an ultralight mid-layer that's breathable, hydrophobic, and dang comfortable. It'll be in my pack moving forward. Lighten your load with American-made products by Googling Magnet Designs. So Jesse, if I'm understanding this correctly, you're going to be a bigger part of the show in season 9. Is that correct?
Only if I find one of Jon Collins' treasures. Yeah, that's the reason I was in this episode, was just trying to get the clues so I can go out there.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. I totally am. I'm excited to be here for the next little bit and hanging out with you.
Yeah, so he'll be doing a few episodes here and there, maybe like as many as 2 a month, I'm hoping. That's kind of the goal. We'll see.
I'm here to make sure that I hold your feet to the fire at least 2 times a month When Derek's not here, there's got to be somebody else here challenging you and making sure you're not leading everyone astray. That's the reality of it, okay?
leading everybody astray. I can tell you the biggest feedback I got this season so far was when I had another guest host on. I had Jon Kelly on back in January, and we did an episode on companies that might be ripping you off, and we picked on Western Mountaineering because of the crazy expense for their sleeping bags. And I am still getting feedback about that. And so Jon Kelly just kind of dives in, drops some bombs, ducks out, and then I've just been dealing with the fallout for a year, basically. So, yeah. I hear it one way or another is all I'm trying to say.
I'll be here a little longer than that, than just one episode to dive bomb and dive out. Maybe at least 3 episodes. Just joking.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we got if I got this episode dropped correctly, this is Christmas week, so Merry Christmas, everybody. And just like a backpacking trip, all are invited to come to know the Lord and the gift of his sacrifice, but not everybody will accept, but everybody's invited. And speaking of invitations, we still have our monthly B&B Bible study going on, first Thursday of every month, and then we do it weekly in the summertime. So you're invited to jump in. Just send me an email, and you will get the invite.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Got anything else?
Happy New Year.
All right. On that note, remember, if somebody tells you about a treasure at the bottom of a well, don't fall for it. Have a great week and God bless.
Treasure hunting, B&B. Treasure hunting. This is Rock, hoping you're all doing well. Why am I talking like this? Because treasure hunting always makes me think of pirates. And these are how pirates talk clearly. This is a pirate accent you're listening to. What's the greatest treasure there is? Jesus. That's who he is. He's number one. He's the best. Now, next, best treasure hunt ever. The search for Forrest Fenn's treasure. Apparently it's been found, but there's lots of other treasures out there. Prediction. I think several treasures are going to be found at the 50-yard line of a football stadium, the football field. Backpack to it. I've got some help here with me. That's right. What were you saying there, sweetheart?
Beep.
I like that. She just said beep. You got to honk at the people in front of you so you can beat them to the treasure and get them out of your way. Now, don't take my word for it that treasure hunting is fantastic. We have other people, 7 of us here at PF Chang's eating treasure-like food. And I'm going to take a quick census. How many people here like treasure hunting? Raise your hand if you like treasure hunting. Raise your hand. Now, you can't see it, B&B crew. B&B crew. Raise your hand if you like treasure hunting. Uncle Stephen, he does. That was excellent. Now, you can't see this. I've got to narrate it for you. 7 out of 7 people raise their hand because they like treasure hunting. Ladies and gentlemen, get on the trail and find some treasure.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.